Yep. And the other big side of the story here is Donald Trump is expected to meet with RNC Chair Reince Priebus in Manhattan this afternoon to discuss the so-called loyalty pledge. The meeting, which has sparked a lot of speculation that the GOP is trying to force the frontrunner's hand. You may remember Bret Baier asked all the candidates that very question at the start of the Fox News debate in Cleveland.
Raise your hand now if you won't make that pledge tonight. Mr. Trump.
I cannot say I have to respect the person that if it's not me, the person that wins. If I do win and I'm leading by quite a bit, that's what I want to do. I can totally make that pledge. If I'm the nominee, I will pledge I will not run as an independent.
How about that? Remember that moment? Chief political correspondent Carl Cameron live in Hampton, New Hampshire today. So, Carl, this could be a make or break moment for Trump's campaign today.
Well, he would argue that if he chose to run as an independent, that could be making his campaign later in the process after the Republican nomination goes to somebody else. There's a couple of questions at hand here. One, the pledge is that you will support the Republican nominee if it's not you. Whether or not Trump might do that is interesting, because if Trump were to run as an independent, obviously that would roil the race considerably in the general election. But if he were to stay out of the race and not endorse the Republican nominee, that could be seen as a sign of support for perhaps Hillary Clinton or whoever the Democrat might be. So will you support the Republican nominee if it's not you? And then the second part is, will you pledge to not run as an independent or as a third-party candidate? Trump has signaled in the last couple of weeks through conversations with donors and Republican poobahs that he was inclined to sign a similar pledge in the state of South Carolina. At the end of this month is the deadline to qualify for the first in the South primary ballot next February, when the actual voting begins. It includes a loyalty pledge. Trump had signaled some willingness to sign it. We'll find out at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Reince Priebus and Donald Trump will sit down together. At 2 o'clock this afternoon, Trump has a news conference to talk about something. The campaign won't even say that this is specifically what it's about, but it's assumed that it is. And at this point, most of the bidding would be that Trump will sign the pledge. But he's very unpredictable, and even his closest aides won't commit to what he's going to say then.
Yeah, wow. Everybody's going to be watching that moment extremely closely this afternoon. So let's switch gears here to another part of the Republican race. Yesterday, Jeb Bush was talking with some voters in Miami, and here's what he had to say.
Porque el hombre no es conservador. Se trata de personalizar todo. Si no estás totalmente en acuerdo con él, eres idiota o estúpido o que no tiene energía o blah, blah, blah.
Stupido and blah, blah, blah. We took away from that, and you saw the subtitles there. Donald Trump said this after that. I like Jeb. He's a nice man, but he should really set the example by speaking English while in the United States. Carl, that's the latest jab in their confrontation.
Yeah, and part of the Spanish exchange that Jeb Bush was having there, he said, Donald Trump is calling people stupids and idiots, and it's barbaric, saying so in Spanish. Mr. Bush has obviously taken notice of this. The campaign's sort of been waiting for Trump to say something that would open up an opportunity for them to really attack Trump rhetoric. Jeb Bush saw that opportunity this morning. Watch this.
This is a diverse country. We should celebrate that diversity and embrace a set of shared values. And Mr. Trump doesn't believe in those shared values. He wants to tear us down. He doesn't believe in tolerance. He doesn't believe in the things that have created the greatness of this country. I think Donald Trump is trying to insult his way to the presidency, and it's not going to work. People want an uplifting, hopeful message. People come to this country to pursue their dreams. Sometimes they start without speaking English, but they learn English and they add vitality to our country.
Within just a few minutes of Mr. Trump's criticism of Jeb Bush for speaking Spanish last night, inboxes for political reporters filled up with what we call opposition research, folks that are Bush supporters sending out information that in many of Donald Trump's corporate handbooks, it suggests that certain management and executive level people should be bilingual and emphasize English when appropriate or Spanish when appropriate and speak it. Martha?
Those Oppo folks are pretty busy these days. Carl, thank you very much.